Well, good evening, everybody. We took a break from Friday night 9-ball last week because I was really tired. But we're back this week, and it's a full house again. We've got a full 16 in. The draw, of course, or the bracket is up. The first match we're going to be joining is the match between Real Poland Power and Spectre Dawn. That's the match in the first round. Good evening to Miasma. The first thing to report is a possible bug that Wit has reported, and I've tested it, and it seems to be an issue. The normal process is when you change your profile picture on your profile, while you're in Virtual Pool 4 or you're in a room, it doesn't usually change. You usually have to restart Virtual Pool 4, and when you come back online and go into a room there, your pictures usually change. But having tested it, it's doing exactly what Wit says. It will not change. My profile picture has not changed in game, so there could be a possible thing that needs fixing. It must be some sort of communication with the server or whatever, but Steve needs to know about it to have a look at it. This tournament's about 3 minutes away. Why is it suddenly gone to this page? That's weird. Anyway, let's go to the calendar. We'll find Friday night 9-ball somewhere down there, like that. Go to the bracket, and we can see, of course, for the full house, the bracket's already up. So we've got Houdini against Bankster, Black Jagged against Christian. Now, the only thing it doesn't show us is what the handicaps are. This is a handicap tournament. It's Moneyball handicapping, and that will appear once the tournament goes live at the top of the hour. We've got Larry. Did I say Black Jagged against Christian? We've got Larry against Tommy Yu, Stefan against Semi Pro, LS3 against Bedhead. Some good matches in the first round. This is the one we're going with: Real Poland Power and Spectre Dawn, Sergaresh and Miasma, and WizKid and Chase one around. So those are the fixtures. We're just waiting on the top of the hour, and we'll be good to go. Just looking to see what the chat is saying. Anyway, this could be 3.5 hours to 4 hours again tonight for the tournament. Just depends how quickly matches go. We could be over within the 3.5 hours, or we might stretch to the 4 hours. Just depends. There'll be some matches will take slightly longer than others. Yeah, full 16 in. Now, who's that that's broke their headset? Was that Jose or something? Who typed that, or was that Boris? Because I can't see it yet. Oh, it's LS3. Yeah, goodness knows how many headsets I've broken by pulling the cable and doing all sorts of things when I stand up. But certainly this, yeah, Turtle Beaches are, I mean, I can confirm that. Turtle Beach headsets, I've had about 6 or 7 of them. Every single one of them are broken. The earpieces hanging off them, and these are the most expensive ones I've bought in a while, these Razer ones. So I should say you guys that contributed bought them, and they're certainly sturdy. I can confirm that. They're metal. The actual the headband is actually metal, and the ear cups as well, and the outside of them I've got a metal rim around them that guard the actual earpiece. So if you drop them, you won't damage the earpiece. They'll just bounce on the metal, and they're very good ear pads as well. So You know, if you pay that bit more, you will get better quality, but not necessarily with Turtle Beach, I have to say. I've paid a lot of money for Turtle Beach headsets, £60–70 a shot for some of them, and they are not very durable. They definitely are not. So, rooms are up into the match with Spectre Dawn and Real Poland Power. They're probably lagging off at the moment, which is why we can't get in. I hope that's the case. Or we could have maybe a bigger issue here. I may have to kill the game and restart here. This is not looking good. We may well have an issue. Oh, we're eventually in. We're in at last. Spectre Dawn is in. We're waiting on Stubb arriving. Now, of course, this is different from the Virtual 9-Ball World Championships, if anybody's watched that but not watched Friday Night 9-Ball, because Friday Night 9-Ball is handicapped. It's a race to 7 on the winner's side, race to 4 on the 1-loss side. It's Moneyball handicapping. So some players will be getting, in fact, I think this might be a scratch match, this one, but some guys will be getting the 8 ball, some guys will be getting 7 and out, and some will be getting 5 and out. So Stubb, or Real Poland Power, but Stubb as I call him, will be letting Spectre Dawn stew, or he's busy rattling on in the wrong button there, sorry. Let's have a look what's going on. Oh, he's obviously messing about before he comes in. Good evening, everybody. In fact, there only is 2 people here by the looks of it, Miasma and Hairpig. Nobody else has said anything, so I assume you're the spectators. So here he is. He's arrived at last. Oh, wrong button. We're doing well this week. I've hit 2 wrong buttons already. I think that's Stubb at the bottom. He's usually twitching. Yeah, that's him at the bottom. And so player 2 is Spectre Dawn. He's getting the 8 ball. Stubb will be happy about that. But at least he's won the lag. Oh, good afternoon to Rotor Monkey. Pretty minutes still afternoon. 2 ball hanging. 5 ball in. Now, what's he going to do? Is he going to bank this either way to the middle pocket for the 4 ball to go in, or to the corner pocket for the 2 to go in? Yeah. Now he needs to get lucky in the 1. That's the only problem with that shot, and once again he's got lucky. Straight out the bat. That 1 ball could have went anywhere, but it's ended up right over the corner pocket. And what's he done here though? Oh, I thought he was going to be hampered with that 7. I think he's okay. So if it gets a bit busier, we'll let you guys know what's happening in the Virtual 9-Ball World Championship final. But basically, what's going to happen in 55 minutes time, while this tournament is on, the Virtual 9-Ball World Championship final will be called as a forfeit for one of both players, either Stubb, Real Poland Power, or Cobra, because neither of the 2 of them could get a time where they could both be here because of work commitments during the week. And as a result of that, what's been decided and agreed by Steve is that these 2 guys should arrange their match ASAP, i.e. tomorrow or Sunday. And once the result is through and the tournament is over, Steve will amend that result if he needs to. And therefore we'll have an official winner once the match is played. Now obviously the match will be played in a room according to the tournament details, with all the tournament rules as they have been. The final is a race to 25. And then, as I say, that will be updated. The only thing that's going to affect is my little bonus of $1,000 for the racks run. Now, I believe Cobra's 5 racks in front in that one, but what I'd need to do is I just look over the video. Well, there's a bad miss there by Stubb. He's took his eye off the ball there, and again he's got lucky though. He's covered it with the 9, but it's not a difficult kick. The only thing is how Spectre Dawn's luck going to be. Oh yeah, I've got every intention of streaming it. Well, that's a poor one, I have to say that. I mean, that was not difficult to kick that 7 ball. That was a really, really poor effort from a player of his level. He should not be missing that kick shot in the 7. So, it's 2-0 to Stubb. Well, I think you're far better just riding your luck with that shot and make sure that you actually get the pot. He could have been as lucky as Stubb and ended up getting on the 9 no problem, but you know, to miss the actual ball altogether was really poor. I'm talking about Spectre Dawn, that is. And Stubb with a 2-0 lead, and Spectre Dawn, well, again, I mean, we're stating the obvious here, the table's wide open. He's going to run out. Well, this is a tricky one though. He's not sitting too great in the 4 ball, and again, when you have to start moving about on the table, you start causing problems, and that's where that problem started there. Not sitting good in the 4. And Stubbs has been left a shot, but this is not good either, because he can't really get to the cue ball. He's right on the rail. He's having to jack up to try and stun this in and come back, and he's got the draw on it, and that's worked out very nice. But once again, it is a chance gone for Spectre Dawn. So, 3-zip for Stubb, and don't forget, Spectre Dawn's getting that 8 ball as his extra money ball, but he ain't got there yet, and he's had one great chance to get there, blew that. Meanwhile, Stubb, couple of balls in the break, and barring an accident here, he should be 4-0. Now, is he the wrong side of this 3? I think he is. He's just slightly the wrong side of the 3. And the 4 doesn't go past the 9, that side. So he's got to work the cue ball a bit here. Now, he could be taking a big risk going forward and around the corner. Yeah, he's decided just to run through. That's probably the sensible shot. And now the question is does he want to stop against the 9-ball and come back? Or, well, I don't think he wants to go anywhere near the 9-ball. He can't help but hit the 9-ball. And he may well try and just come off that slightly to leave maybe not a particularly easy shot in the 7. But if he runs off the 9-ball, things could go awry here. Well, he's gone inside the 7, and that's the problem with brushing off the 9 at that pace, because he's now left it difficult. But the cue ball needs to keep going. And now it's in an awkward shot. It's right in the middle of no man's land. And he looks as if he's trying to chip this into the middle. Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear. Oh, it's just held up in the knuckle. Well, I think he's got to go for the bank. I don't think he's got much of a choice here. I mean, he could go for the cut, but I think the bank's actually easier than the cut, believe it or not. Yeah. But look at where the cue ball's finished. There you go. Don't ever anybody say Stubb does not get lucky. Don't ever anybody say that. Especially himself. I mean, look at where the 9-ball's finished. I mean, that is not a great bank. It's just off the rail, but you've got to try and get the cue ball away, and he's played it well. There's always a difficulty of just getting a slight double kiss there, but he's got it clean. Well, that's a get out of jail for Spectre Dawn. And he's got a ball in the break. And that little kiss by the 7 on the 1 has put him in play. And, well, I'll say it again, he should be out. Oh, well, once again the commentator's curse has struck. I mean, I don't think he really had to put too much on that cue ball to have a shot in the 2. But that may well have cost him. And it's another great opportunity thrown away by Spectre Dawn. Just careless, sloppy. That's the words to describe that. Where's this cue ball going? Is it brushing past the 8? Oh. Yeah, he's okay. Well, if you haven't seen him play this bad, you should have seen his final match in the Virtual 9-Ball World Championships. He could have been much worse. He fell apart like a cheap suit. So he did. Yeah, he hasn't been this bad since his last match where he was that bad. Well, I mean, it could be an entirely different scoreboard at the moment, but Spectre Dawn's thrown away these opportunities. It could certainly be all square, or he could even be in front had he taken the chances. And don't forget, Stubb missed that 7-ball early on. What was it, rack 2, was it? And then with a really poor attempt at a kick, and a kick that, let's be honest, I would have got that kick. That's how easy it was. You know, a kick from the long rail to the corner pocket just to nudge the 7 in. And he never even hit the ball, let alone actually potted it. It was a crime in itself not being able to actually hit the 7. I could see you hitting it and it maybe not going in, but well, everything went downhill from there. So 4-1 to Stubb. Spectre Dawn once again at the table, and with the chance. Well, again, there's an immediate problem here. This 4 ball to the 5. He's got to get good. He's brushed off the 6. It's not done him any harm. This is where he doesn't want to go top side of the 6 ball as we look. He wants to leave this short on the left or right side. He's gone down the right, and that is perfect because he's got a nice angle. It's all about the weight. He doesn't want to run too far below this 7. He wants to get to about roughly there will do. And I think he can draw off that and just come into this corner here, unless he wants to try leaving a combo. Yep, sensible shot, well controlled. And dare I say it, it should be 4-2. Well, there we go. He eventually gets the use of his money ball. The 8 ball goes in. That 4 ball thought about running down the rail, but hits the knuckle. And the break is dry. And this time, Spectre Dawn leaves Stubb on nothing. Stubb gets the hit. But that 4 ball has just encroached into the path of this 1. The 1's got half a pocket to go in, and he's brushed it onto the 4. But of course the other thing is he had the cut down the rail in the 2, and now he's missed it. Stubb just needs to get this clean. Well, there's nothing here that's a gimme. The 5 ball is going nowhere there. That is really awkward. So that's going to decide the rack. So, getting back to this virtual 9 ball World Championship final, Stubb was in communication with Cobra on Friday morning, I think it was, yesterday morning, and I think Cobra was getting just annoyed at the fact that he couldn't get Stubb to agree the day to get this played, and Stubbs been going by the comment that Cobra made in the messages that they were exchanging with one another, and it was along the lines of, well, if you want to win the tournament that bad, then take the win, which was well, it was a bit daft that Cobra said that, because Stubbs jumped all over that, saying that he's forfeited the tournament when he basically hasn't. He's just getting annoyed at the fact he can't get Stubb to give a straight answer. And Stubb still hasn't given a straight answer. So basically what happened is I emailed Steve and told him that he's going to have to tell Stubb to choose a day. And in the end he still hasn't. So basically what I did was I chose a day for him. And I chose tomorrow night at 7 o'clock UK time and 2 PM Eastern time. I've already mailed that to Cobra and Steve and to Stubb, and so as far as I know, unless Cobra comes back and says something different, hopefully the match will get played tomorrow. But that's anybody's guess as to whether it will. Something might have cropped up between yesterday and today, and Cobra might have something on tomorrow night. But as far as I know, the weekend was fine for Cobra, so basically I made Stubbs' decision for him, because he would not say that he's going to play Saturday or Sunday, so I just decided that he was going to play Saturday. Anyway, the 5 ball has eventually been taken care of, but I'll tell you something else. This is not a shot I would want right now. This 6 ball is even worse. I mean, that is not the angle to be looking at this 6. It's not frozen to the rail, but you've got to get this so pure. You're far better just cutting it along and just in trying to hide it behind the 9. Well, he has hidden it behind the 9, but not intentionally. But it's still not hidden enough. But again, it's another chance that has gone south for Spectre Dawn. There's a result through. And again, I don't know why these people play in tournaments and then end up just forfeiting. But WizKid is at it already. He's forfeited against Chase one around. And Stubb, meanwhile, is going to go 5-2 up. Now, I thought I heard something go in. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Yes, I am imagining it. And this is not an easy starter again either. Spectre Dawn. Yeah, I never noticed. I was too busy ranting and raving there. I never noticed he was in 2 fouls. Again, there's another tricky one. He's going to have to leave himself high just to get at this 4. Stunned past the 9. Well, he could do with actually eventually winning a rack here. Well, that's another bad one. He's getting himself in all sorts of trouble here. This is again not a nice shot, this 6 ball. And what's he done with the cue ball? Well, he just seems to be finding ways to get himself in trouble. It's going to be one of those nights. And that's not a great safety either, I don't think. Because that 7 ball is available. Stubbs not going to have an easy shot in the 8, but he can certainly cut this 7. Let's look at the 8 ball. Yeah, it was difficult to start with. He's going to fluke it as well. I know he's going to go all out for the thin chip on the 8. And dare I say it, another piece of luck for Stubb. How many's at so far in the tournament tonight? 3. Well, Keith, as I was mentioning earlier, I'm acting on behalf of Stubb, although he doesn't want me to. But basically, to cut a long story short, the tournament will forfeit at 8 o'clock tonight. The virtual 9 ball final. It will forfeit one of them. Basically, because the 2 of them couldn't get a time to get this match played because of work commitments, and as far as I know, Cobra's fine with the weekend, Saturday or Sunday. Stubb just would not decide on a day. He just can't come straight out and say plain and simple, right, we'll play it Saturday. He couldn't say that. So basically I said it for him, and it should be tomorrow night at 7 PM. I've already messaged Steve, I've already messaged Cobra, and hopefully everything's fine for him. But we don't know that until Cobra gives confirmation. But it should be, from talking to him yesterday, it should be okay for tomorrow night. So that's 2 PM Eastern Standard Time, Stubbs time. So we should have a final race to 25. And that's on the advice of Steve himself, because there's no way he wants to mess about with the tournament database with a live tournament. So the advice of Steve is let the tournament forfeit, let the tournament finish, and then once these 2 guys have played the match in a normal room with all the tournament rules and settings, then Steve can then update that tournament on the database once it's completed, if he needs to, that is. So that's basically where we stand. We should have a final tomorrow night. Meanwhile, Cobra is down but pretty much out in this first round match against Stubb, and well, he's only got himself to blame for the most part. A lot of it's been self-inflicted, getting himself out of shape and all sorts going wrong. Stubb getting his fair share of luck as usual. And so Stubb, again, can't complain because that's a player on a par with Stubb getting the 8 ball as his extra money ball, and Stubb's beating him 7-2. So that, that defeats any argument about, losing because somebody's got a handicap against you. He's beating him 7-2. So we've had a few results through. Let's have a quick look at the bracket, and let me just get this update thing going. Right, so we have the first result through, of course, between Stubb and Spectre Dawn, and we've got Semi-Pro is 4-3 up against Stefan. Stefan getting what looks like, is that what the hell ball is that? Stefan getting the 5 ball. What else have we got? We've got, who's that at the top there? I'm sitting here and I can hardly read that. Houdini against Bankster. And then who's the other one? Black Jagged. Boris is 3-2 down to Christian. Larry's 3-2 down to Tommy Yu. And Stefan is 3-4 down to Semi-Pro. LS 3-2 all, I think that is, against Bedhead. Real Poland Power. Right, that's the match we're going to go into. In fact, tell a lie, I've read that wrong. It's 7-2. 7-2 to Bedhead. Oh dear, that is terrible. Right, anyway. Well, I think that then allows us to go in, and if we can get into this room, we can watch the remainder of the Larry Tommy Yu match. Tommy Yu, player 2, is getting a 7 ball. Tommy Yu, I believe, from Germany. Yes, he is. And Larry, of course, from the States. That's overcut. And I've jinxed Larry straight away as soon as I've come in the room. I've done him again. He might have got away with it, though. So Tommy Yu, I think he can see the 7, but he certainly can't. He's going to try to bend it round. You've got to get this right. Well, he's played the jump. I thought he was going to play a little Massey there. But again, when you play these jumps at close quarters, the cue ball's bouncing. It's very difficult to guarantee you're going to keep a ball on the table, whether it be object ball or the cue ball. So Larry's escaped there, and he's back all square. Yeah, I expect Dawn will probably rip through the one loss side now and get to the final anyway. I mean, if he's going to play a bad match, you might as well get it over with and get the first round match out of the way, because he can't end up in any worse than what he's ended up in the first match there. So Tommy Yu calls the push out, and well, the 1 ball's on the rail, so I don't know whether there's much there to invite Larry into playing anything. I mean, well, in theory there's a possible bank, but that's tight, so he's looking to try and get distance here, and he's not got it, and what's more, he's not got cover either. And that clip on the 9 ball didn't do him any favours. I think it was a 9 ball he hit. So, Tommy Yu on the 2, and I'm looking for problems here and I don't see them, so he's got to be out. Well, He wants to try and get a square on this 5 ball if he can control the draw here. He's just gone too far, he's gone the wrong side of the 5. It just means that he's having to control the cue ball more. Well, he's decided to nurse it in just to leave it as best he can in the 6. The only worry about that is he's not going to be that great on the 7, probably from distance. Yeah, he's cutting across it. So he just got to watch the pace, and he makes sure he gets a hold of the cue ball. Well, I would have come out further than that. Oh, what am I talking about? I'm forgetting of the handicap again. The usual mistake, I do it every time. Right, good evening, Rotor Monkey, or good afternoon. We'll see you later. Sergaresh has gone through against Miasma by 7 racks to 3. And meanwhile, me forgetting the handicap, Tommy Hughes got the 7 ball, and he's now up 4-3. 9 ball over the middle pocket. The break from Larry is dry. Now what does he do? Does he play the push and pot the 9 and run up the table? That looks like it. Well, I think Larry's been clever there because he's double checked where the 9's going to spot, and the 9 has spotted and it's covered the 1. But of course Tommy doesn't like it, and Larry's immediately been put back in. So he's now got to try and get cover, and again Larry's run into a ball, but he's actually fluked to 4. Now can he avoid the 8? I think he can. Just got to stun past it and get up the table. This is another little stun onto the rail and control the pace just to come across the table. That needs to keep going. He wants to get there. He wanted to be here on that. You know, if you get here on it, it's much easier to get up for the... What the hell ball is that? I thought that was the 4. It's not, it's the 8. I'm getting myself confused. I thought that was the 4 at the bottom of the table. It's the 8 ball. Now, what about this 6 ball? There's plenty of room from there, but not from here there isn't, so you've got to get good on it. Another result through. Bankster beats Houdini 7 racks to 5. That needs to keep running. Now, well, I think he's got to punch this 3 rails, I think. Get the spin working. Well, that'll do. Now, what does he want to do? Does he want to try and baby this in and play this 9 into this middle as we look? Or does he do the right thing and go forward and up the table, right side, so he can take the 9 into this pocket? Well, Larry, you've got to get there. You've got to get there, I'm afraid. That's not where you want to be on this 9 ball. I mean, it's much easier to overhit that and still have half a decent shot, but to get there is not good. Playing into a blind pocket's never comfortable. But this for all square, 4 racks all. And in it goes. Larry likes doing it the hard way. Ball in the break, definitely this time. Bottom right hand corner, I think it was a 5 ball. And he's got a shot in the 1, and the 2's at the same end of the table. And, well, where can this go wrong? So, well, immediately, he's totally misjudged the cut on that one ball. Didn't get the connection on it at all right. It wasn't easy, just got to get that perfect little clip to get it to run on that rail. But luckily, Larry didn't leave anything on for Tommy, so Tommy just keeping it nice and safe. I'm not so certain that was the greatest of safety shots Larry's ever going to play. He's actually got away with it. He's got away with it, I think. Well, Tommy's having a look at it. I mean, if you chip it hard enough, it will cut. But it was a strange attempt at a safety by Larry there. I think he was hoping to hit the one ball off something down the bottom of the table here and keep the one ball down at the bottom as we look. That's not a bad safety by Tommy. It's left Larry awkward, looking to get the thin edge on this one ball and run around the angles to come down the table. He's got it thin enough. If he misses that 3 ball, this will be pretty good. And that's not bad, but there's still enough room there for Tommy to do likewise. Just get the edge of that one. Get a wee bit of spin on it. He's playing a bit of top left just to come around the rails. But again, he's got to miss the traffic to play a good safety here. But that's gone wrong. He's hit it far too thick. And the one's ran into the 2 and come into play. But the cue ball's awkward. Once again though, that 2 ball being up the top end of the table, Larry doesn't need to do an awful lot with the cue ball other than just make sure he pots the 1. He's bound to have a shot in the 2 somewhere. Now, how does that look? Well, the only way this will go wrong is if he hooks himself behind the 6. He can stun the 2 in and come over to the left to play the 3 past the 8 ball. I mean, it's not a good angle to be running forward, I don't think. We'll soon find out. Well, I don't think you really get into that enough either. You needed to stun that a bit more, Larry. That needed a bit of a firmer stun. Again, he's in this no man's land territory where you're neither one side or the other for the pot. Not easy. Apart from the fact that you've got to make sure you've still got a shot in the 4 as well, even if you get this 3. Runs into the 7. Where's the 7 going? Well, that's just blew him right out of the water. The one place the 7 ball could end up, not quite slap bang in front of the 4, but far enough in front of it to prevent the pot. Well, that's a horrible shot, Larry. He's hit the 7 before he's hit the 4. Goodness me. Well, Larry's going to have to get those old eyes tested, because I thought my eyes were bad, but he's actually hit the 7. And he's gifted Tommy U a free go here. Well, that might end up ugly if it doesn't slow down. Now, a little testy cut. It's going to be another one. Now, what does he do here? Oh, I'm forgetting about the 7 ball again, aren't I? I'm so engrossed with the lay of the table, I keep forgetting about the handicap. I'll remember at some point. Tommy U's on the 7 ball as his extra money ball. So, Tommy breaks off in rack number what rack are we in? Rack number 10. And the 4 ball has gone, shot in the 1. And if he'd missed that 6 ball, well, he still might be okay. Yep, he can still see the 2. Now he's either going to play this 3 ball into this corner as we look, or into that right middle pocket. Just depends on the pace in the cue ball. Now with this, just a roll in and get yourself over to be reasonably good in the 5. And this again, a softish draw off the 5. Oh, he's actually played the stun draw, as I call it. You can hit it harder and still get the drawback effect if you get that Q-tip right on that little part just below the equator, and it allows you to confidently hit it firmer, but you don't get the big deep draw. Well, this is not good. Well, it is good because it only needs a 7. I forgot again. It's about 4 times I forgot. And Stefan has beaten Semi-Pro in a final rack decider, so the handicap must have worked in that match. It's gone all the way. And meanwhile, Tommy Yu is 1 rack away. Now Larry, is he going for a blast in the 1-9 here? There's a big pocket where the 5 ball is. He may well be going for a slam dunk here. Yeah, he's hit the jaw. He's hit the jaw of the middle pocket. I do believe that's what he tried. Well, Tommy should have had him in a lot of trouble there. I mean, there's plenty of room to get in behind that 3 and 7 ball, let alone try and nudge it in behind the 8. So Larry's now back against the wall in this match. But the chance to get at least 1 back. Now it's going to have to be the 4-5 combo. Now the cue ball, he's just hit, well, the 4s went in at the same time. That's done no harm. And Spectre Dawn has gone through on the 1 loss side against LS3 by 4 racks to 2. Meanwhile, Larry, well, I'm saying he should be home and dry. What kind of mischief can he get himself into? Well, he doesn't want to go anywhere near straight in this 8 ball for a start. And that again is just forcing him into having to do stuff with the cue ball at a big distance here. So it's power and draw. Well, he's not. He's went forward. And he's okay. I thought he was going to draw that. But he is okay. And he will have the break. So rack number 12. No, that 4 ball thought about the top pocket. It actually thought about this bottom right as well, but I think it ran into the 1. So the break is dry. And it will be a 2-5 combo into the middle. Now, he's got to be really gentle with this, just to keep that 2 ball in play. And, well, Tommy, you should be home and dry here. Absolutely no reason why he shouldn't be. Because I'm remembering now he only needs to get to the 7 ball. And that shouldn't be too difficult. Just pop the 4 in, roll the 6 into the middle, and roll the 7 into the bottom right, and it's a win for Tommy Yu by 7 racks to 5. And another result through, and Christian has beaten Black Jagged Boris from Germany by 7 racks to 3. So again, the handicap working fairly well in that match, as it has done in this match for Tommy Yu. Tommy through 7 racks to 5. So loads of results coming through. Let's have a look at the bracket and see how things are shaping up now. Well, that match with Larry is just going to update in a second. We've got Bankster about to play Christian in round 2. We've got Tommy Yu about to play Stefan. We've got Bedhead against Stubb underway at the moment. And Sergaresh is 2-0 down to chase one around. So, again, no arguments about what match we're going to watch. If we can get in the room, it's the one between Bedhead and Stubb. I thought that read 4-2-1 to Bedhead. It's 4-2 to Stubb. My eyes are getting really bad. That bracket needs to have better contrast for my eyes so I can read it. What's happened? What's happened here? Wonder what Bedhead's saying won't help. Anyway, it is a scratch match, this one, so no handicap in it. Real Poland power. Stubb leading by 4 racks to 2. Bedhead at the table. Now he just needs to come up past that 8 ball far enough. The further up the table, the better that he can pot the 4 and comfortably stay on that 5 ball. So he just wants to go up there as far as he can, and that will do nicely. I certainly did get a new phone. I got a new, what do you call it? What is it? It's a Samsung Galaxy 71 I've got. Still looking for a case for it. Because everywhere, certainly in my store, we've got loads of cases for phones, but they're all for the Samsung 21, which is a newer model, I think, to this one. I'm struggling to get an actual carry case for it, just to give it some protection. So Bedhead should be back. He's got one of his favourite cut shots here on this 9. Back to within 1. Now, I mentioned to any latecomers, if there's any of you guys out there, that we should have the virtual 9-ball World Championship final tomorrow night. All things going according to plan. The only way we'll know of that is if Cobra sends me a message between tonight and tomorrow, or he's online at some point tomorrow, just to confirm it 100%. But that's how it stands at the moment. Now, in about 10 minutes time, you will see a result in the lobby, which will be the result of the virtual 9-ball World Championship final, which will end up in a forfeit. The match, however, will go ahead after the tournament has been completed tonight. And as I say, it should be tomorrow. If something crops up, then it should be Sunday at 7 PM British Summer Time, 2 PM Eastern Standard Time, 11 AM Pacific Time. So hopefully we will have a final. It will be a race to 25, and it will be between Real Poland Power, Stubb and Cobra. Oh yeah, this camera's excellent quality, so it is. The only thing is, I'm looking to get a decent memory card for it. I've got an old memory card, an old micro SD card out the old phone I had But the thing is, it's only a 16. Is it a 16? I'm trying to remember. Is it a 16 megabyte or 16 gigabyte card? Can't remember. Anyway, it's not a big memory card, but I've put that in the phone. The phone's got 128 memory in it. I was wanting to get a bigger micro SD card. I think the biggest that this can take is about 512. But the cheapest I could see for one of them was 70 quid for a micro SD card. Just so I could store all my photos on it and stuff. And then just transfer what I want onto the PC. So anyway, it's 5-3 to stub. Now, the thing is, if Bedhead just pushes this one to the rail, Stubb's going to play some sort of combo, I would think. So if he just brushes off the one, yeah, that's why he's probably jumping, because he doesn't want to just brush the one to the rail. He's going all out for the pot. That's a good shot, but unfortunately for him, not guaranteeing about how good he was going to be in the two. Yeah, there's cloud storage. I've got cloud storage available through Google Drive. I just haven't set these things up yet. I just haven't had the time to sit down and mess about with it. There's a lot of apps on the phone that I'm going to delete. I mean, there's a lot of crap on it. You know, like Netflix and anything. There's no way I'm ever going to use those apps on the phone. I'm going to get rid of a lot of that stuff. But I'm just finding my way through it. Well, this is not a gimme. He's played it well though, but again, the problem is the cue ball squirting away from the 6. Well, pot the 8 just run forward, but not too far. And he will be back to within 1. I mean, the only reason that I've said this before, there's another result through it. WizKids beating Miasma 4-2 in the one lost side. The only reason I've ever had a phone was principally to use it at work when I'm checking stock availability, because I've got an app on the phone that I use for checking availability. But my old phone was so old I couldn't watch anything on YouTube on it anymore. It was like version, goodness knows what version of Android it was. It was like a version 3 Android phone. It was so old. It was out of date when I bought it. Yes, Miasma. How can we help? Stubbs had a blast at the combo, but he's lost the cue ball. And Bedhead has ball in hand. Now he could try a far-fetched 1-9 combo from distance. It does just not work I always play better here on evenings you don't comment. Well, the thing is, the question is whether you're actually listening to that while you're actually trying to play a match at the same time. I call that self-inflicted damage, doing that. Which would have been even worse had I been in any of the rooms you were in and watched any of your matches, because I'd have probably tore you to shreds. Meanwhile, Bedhead has been given an escape route here by Stubb. Stubb having a blast at the 1-9 combo or whatever combo it was in the 9 ball. Cue ball scratching. Bedhead been given ball in hand. And, well, he's just gone inside the 5 ball now. Does he want to try and do anything and run into this 8 ball? That might be the wise move, just to hold him half decent on the 7. Well, he's stunned across to avoid the 8 ball completely. He doesn't want to be dead straight. Well, now, the obvious problem here is the 8 doesn't pass the 9. I mean, it's not going past the 9 there. It's too tight. Has he gone far enough? Well, I wouldn't like it. But he's got it comfortably enough. And he will be all square with the break. Well, a good break. And something's got in the top left. Something's got in the top right as well. The 3 ball has gone. The 1 ball has gone. And would you believe it? No shot in the 2. Now, if he pushes down to the corner here, the question is can Stubb... Well, I don't think that was the best push out that Bedhead is ever going to play, because he's actually prevented Stubb from the bank by putting a 5 ball there, but he hasn't put Stubb off the cut, but he's not taking it. He's not taking it, which is a surprise, because Stubb usually takes any bait like that and goes for the cut. And it's not a bad safety, because there's not a lot of places to try and hide, especially when you can only see an edge of that 2 ball. But he can see enough of it to push the 2 if he hits it. If he hits it hard enough to go down there, and he has to get the cue ball down here and avoid running into stuff. But I don't know whether he can get enough of it to do it. Now, what's he trying? Well, that's no good. Well, I was looking for a more tactful safety shot by Bedhead there. I was trying to find a line for him. He obviously didn't see it. Decided to play a jump and has just given Stubb a free go here. I think he could have tried something better than that, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't see the problem with having hit that. If he'd hit that 4 firm enough for it to go down there, and then maybe check the cue ball so the cue ball comes down here, just to keep distance. But, you know, well, we'll never know because he never tried it, but I still think that would have been a better idea than trying a jump. So Stubb should be back in the lead. On the hill, up 6-5 with the break. And that's what I meant to check there. While Stubbs killing time. Now, well, that's 1942. It's not quite 10 past yet. That's what the problem is. I'm getting myself overexcited here. I'm forgetting about the 10-minute timeout. So that's still to happen. Yeah, it's still about 9 minutes to go before that that deadline for the Virtual 9-Ball World Championship Final will time out. I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. It says 8 o'clock's the deadline, but that'd be 8 o'clock to start the match. You've still got that 10-minute timeout to get into the room. So by 10 past the hour, that should be on. Oh, well, it's already up in the bracket. Then why is it not showing in the lobby? I never saw it going up in the lobby. Which is strange. Yeah, that's after 8 o'clock, so it's strange how it's not appeared in the messages in the lobby. But anyway, that's another story. Back to the matter at present. We've got Bedhead at the table with a shot in the 1. And, well, again, a good chance to take this all the way here. He's just got to avoid traffic to get good onto this 4-ball, because the 5-ball is just in an awkward place. It's in between the 7 and the 6. And if he's going to get good in the 5, he has to be careful that he has a decent enough line that he's not going to be encroached by the 8-ball or that 7-ball, depending on what side he goes. And the problem now is he's the wrong side of the 4. So now he's going to probably end up playing it safe and having to play this 5-ball long, unless he tries to get acrobatic here. No, he's going to play it long. Now the problem is, once you start doing that, you start getting out of line. He's now going to be probably running into that 9-ball. I don't think there's much choice here. He has to play the pot. Well, he's managed to just avoid it, and that was handy, because there was no guarantee he could avoid that. And, well, again, fairly straight. He doesn't want to be pinching too much on this 6. It's strange that it didn't show up in the lobby, that announcement of the result of the tournament. I don't know whether that's it working properly or not, but normally you'd think it would come up with the result, being as it's an NRT tournament. And Larry has gone all the way with semi-pro in that 1 loss side. And Larry wins the final rack decider there against semi-pro. And meanwhile, Bedhead is taking Stubb all the way here to this final rack. He's got a ball in the break. Well, he's got a shot in the 1, but look at where the 4 balls ended up. I mean, that's horrible where that's sitting. So he's going to have absolutely no shot in the 4. So what he's got to try and do is have some sort of angle on this 2-ball, which is up there, to allow him to try and do a bit of nudging. Now, if he goes forward with inside, not that line, that's a horrible line. he can maybe try and come down and move something while he's trying to go directly from the left side. I think he would have had a better line going forward to try and come down that way, because even if he didn't hit the 4 and 5, he might have hit the 9 that would have nudged something. Maybe he didn't think he had enough to be able to do that, but now he's in trouble. He's going to have to play this good. We'll have a quick look at that virtual 9-ball bracket in a second or two once this match is over, just to see that everything appears okay in the bracket. And another result on the one-loss side. The matches are fairly flying in tonight. Black Jagged has gone through against Houdini by 4 racks to 2. Now, what's Bedhead thinking on here? Is he going to risk it? Because that looks it looks a fairly easy safety, and he's done the right thing. And the other thing is, I don't think there's a line there for Stubb to get to that 4-ball. Well, he might have to. I don't know whether he can hit that. Just hit that rail near the. Well, he's going to be right on the point. I don't think he can get to that 4 at all. And the thing is that if he just leaves ball in hand to Bedhead, Bedhead will play the same again. This time Bedhead's got to get better cover, because he's going to push this 4-ball that way, and he'll expose it on this side slightly if he's not too careful. Yeah, not the best of safety shots, I'm afraid, Bedhead. That may well cost you. Touch like a sledgehammer. And it's given Stubb his chance to go out. And I think Bedhead's scratching his head. But it certainly was not. It was not what was recommended in the tactical safety book, that shot by Bedhead. And, well, Bedhead's place in the winner's side here may well have come straight off the rails with that shot. Yeah, he had to just skim it and no more. And Stubb will be out here. Well, he's playing it safe simply because if he ran forward there, he was going to scratch the middle pocket. So he's having to play the high cut, but he's got all the room in the world to get onto the 9. He's absolutely no problem here. It's just about getting this 8-ball right, which he has done. So Stubb marches on. It has to be said, with the assistance of Bedhead's generosity. So Stubb goes through on that final rack, 7 racks to 6. Bedhead moves across to the one-loss side. So there's lots of stuff been going on while we've been watching that. We've got Bankston and Christian playing at the moment. Christian 2-1 up with a 5-ball. Tommy Yu is 5-2 up against Stefan. Scratch match, that one. We've got the result from the Bedhead Stubb match going through, and Sergaresh is getting, I don't know whether that's the 5 or the 6 ball, I can hardly read that. And then of course on the one-loss side we've got Black Jagged against Chase One Around. They're underway. Larry is about to play Bedhead on the one-loss side, so I reckon that's where we'll start. We'll watch that one, because it's only a race to 4, and Stubb and Sergaresh are just about to start. So we'll go in and we'll watch this one. Well, you notice that Stubb had the right idea, that Stubb decided he wasn't going to do anything to try and get to that ball, so he decided just to knock the cue ball into the pocket and give ball in hand to Bedhead, and in the end Bedhead blew a gasket with a safety shot. Now Bedhead, if he had been wise, could have actually done the same thing, you know, called Stubb's bluff and just pushed the cue ball into the pocket and did exactly the same as what Stubb done. And then what would the outcome have been? There's a question to think about. See, that's where you have to be thinking on your feet in these matches. You have to be really on the ball. You don't want to disturb that 7 ball. So Stubb decided he didn't want to risk trying to hit it because it was so difficult to get to it. So he decided to do nothing. And when Bedhead came to the table, he should have decided to do the same. And then it could have been a completely different story. So here we go. We've got 2 possible winners of this tournament, but they're both playing on the one-loss side. One of them is going to have to go. It's a scratch match, but it is only race to 4. And Larry trying to hide down amongst a cluster here. Not a bad effort. It's a tight one, but I think that Bedhead can jump this. Yeah, he's got the jump. Didn't get the line properly. And then another result through. Tommy Yu has beaten Stefan 7 racks to 2. And Larry can roll this one in and roll through far enough that he can at least get a decent safety on this 2, because he can't pot the 2. He could be ambitious and try a billiard onto the 5, but being honest, he's looking to just tuck this 2 ball away while he's looking at the billiard. This might be ambitious. I think it's a lot easier to tuck this cue ball away while he's not looking at it. He's done the right thing. But Bedhead might fancy kicking this in, you know. Stranger things have happened. Certainly not difficult to hit the 2, and if you get it really sweet, well, he's hit it full in the face. But they've been kicked in quite a few times on that short rail. Especially when it's easy to get to. You've always got a good chance if you can get it sweet on the spot. You can run it along the rail and pot it in, but Bedhead, I think, seems to have got away with it. Oh, where's the cue ball going? I think he's okay. Once again, Bedhead has a choice. He can go all out for the thin cut on the 2, or he can try studding it up the table and keeping the cue ball somewhere near that 8 ball. It looks as if he's lining possibly the bank here. Hard to say what he's doing. He's got top left on it. He's just trying to tuck it in the back of the 8 and the 5, but he's come out into the open, and that has definitely left the enticement for Larry. Larry will be going all out for the bank here with this 2 ball. It's a good line for the bank. A little brush off the 7 hasn't done him any harm, apart from the fact he's just got a dicey 3 ball. It's a bit tricky. I don't think he wants to risk doing an awful lot with the cue ball other than just make sure he pots the 3. And if he stays down this end of the table, he's going to have a shot in the 5. He doesn't want to get over ambitious with the cue ball. Well, he's played the stunning around the rails, and that's worked out very nice. I don't know whether he can drop this in soft enough though to still stay this side of the 6. Because the 6 doesn't pass the 8 that side, so yeah, just trying to help it in, and he's managed to hold it fairly well. Well, he should be out here. Now, while Larry's messing about here, let's have a look at the Virtual 9-Ball World Championship bracket and see how that panned out. It says event is completed. And, well, can't see you for the bloody chat, but hang on a minute. Let's get this out the bloody way to see what I'm doing here. Right, that's better. Right, it's got Cobra forfeited. So that's the way the tournament works. It's actually chosen a winner of the match, which was always going to happen. So Steve will fix that once these two guys get to play the final, which, as I say, should be tomorrow. That's still to be confirmed 100%. Meanwhile, Larry up by 1 rack to 0. Bedhead looking for cover, and this time his touch is better, but it's not difficult for Larry to jump this and hit the 1. What is difficult is having enough pace in the cue ball to hit that 1 and send it far enough up the table here to get in amongst these balls at this end and try and get lucky with the cover as well. He doesn't want to. He wants to miss everything all the way up to the 5. Well, he's come across the 1. I don't know that was maybe the best way to go about it, but I'll tell you something though. He'll be more than happy with the outcome of that. So Bedhead with the old hit and hope. And again, well, I think Larry can cut this and avoid the scratch. I think he can just hit the point on that pocket. Needs to keep bouncing. Well, he's going to be hindered by this 7 ball, and that just means that he's going to maybe have to jack up more to come off this 2 ball, which makes the shot even more difficult. Yeah, it's not easy. Not easy at all to be queuing right over the 7 and try to dig into the cue ball to come back for the 3. Really tough. Big open space at the bottom of the table here for the 4 ball. And a huge area to get into, to get onto that 5. Oh dear, well, unbelievable missing the 4. He's played the big stunt, and you can't take liberties with these pockets. He's got into the area for the 5, but he's rattled the 4. rattled the four big time, and it stayed up. And that's a good safety by Larry. Good distance. Makes it more difficult to get the safety and the touch right on this four ball for Bedhead. This looks pretty good to me. Good line. And he'll take that, even though again it's not a difficult hit for Larry. Larry might fancy if he could he get past that 7? I think he might be lining up to try and... I don't know whether he can catch the edge of that 4 to try and cut it. It's a bit tight. Because where the cue ball's going to be landing is going to be near that 7. Yeah, he's at least got the hit, and he's going to get the cover. He'll take that again as well. Well, just a tiny, tiny edge of the 4 ball showing. Very tiny edge. Well, that needs to hit something, but it hasn't done. And this time, Larry's going to have a shot, and what's more, unless he hooks himself behind the 9, which he really shouldn't be doing because he's got this big area here to get on that 5 ball, and that's where he wants to get to. And he's just going to be beyond it a wee bit, but no problem. Can leave the long 6 ball. Just bringing up the other bracket again. Now, I think Larry wants to come back off this 7 ball, back behind the 9, so he can get to the 8. Does he want to? I don't think he wants to be running forward. I think he wants to just come back. Yeah. Just to get behind that 9 to get to the 8. And another result through. Black Jagged marches on the 1 loss side. He's beaten Chase 1 around by 4 racks to 1. Larry is going to be 2-0 up here against Bedhead in this 1 loss side match. And while that is going on, and we go into rack number 3, we'll have a quick look and see how the match is going on the winner's side. Well, we've got Stubb. Looks like he's 3-2 behind at the moment. Let me have a closer look. Yeah, it's 3-2 at the moment to Sergaresh. We've got Bankster and Christian playing to see who's going to play Tommy Yu in the top of the bracket. Oh, where's this cue ball ended up? Well, he's going to have the jump escape again here, Larry. Once again with that, the problem with this is again, it's not jumping and potting the 2, it's getting a shot in the 3. And he's got that little bit of luck. The little brush off the 9 has worked out very nicely indeed. And Black Jagged has come into the room, so presumably he's waiting on the winner of this match on the 1 loss side. And whoever he plays, he'll be getting a fairly decent handicap as well, I would imagine. Well, this is the one that's going to decide the rack. Larry can get nicely down onto this 5, so he can get up for that 6 ball in the left middle. Well, he needs to come up He needed to come up further than that. Now he's maybe going to have to play this 6 ball long. Again, the safest shot is to cut the 5, and let the cue ball come down, and then just play the 6 in there. That would be the safest shot, rather than trying to do something specific with the cue ball. Well, he's going across the 6, and that may well be the fact that he was closer to the rail and he was limited in what he could do, and now he's got himself in an awkward shape here on this 6. This is not an easy shot. He's got to get this nice. Cue ball's going to be running across that 7, which makes it even more difficult. And again, because he's close to the rail, there's not an awful lot of options available other than trying to go for the pot and get lucky here. I think that's all he's hoping for, that he just gets a lucky break off this 7 if he hits it. Well, he's missed the 7, which is actually not bad at all. Now, it's got to be 7 into the middle. The 7 into the top pocket there is not good, because that brings the cue ball out into the wide open space for the 9, and this for 3-0. Well, Bedhead is in a corner now. Larry 3-0 up, race to 4. I think he's maybe having problems with his mouse. Maybe his batteries are running out in his mouse. Key's not working. Yeah, Larry's having to bail. I think he's having some sort of technical issue at the moment. I thought his mouse was, because Larry, I think, plays with this, well, I'm presuming it's cordless, this trackball mouse that he uses, so no, I used to work in Curry's up until 7 years ago, but then Curry's is now amalgamated with PC World, so all the superstores are Curry's PC World now, with a Carphone warehouse doing the mobile phones in them. But I don't know anything about what deals are doing with phones and laptops. I'm afraid I don't pay any attention to what really goes on there now. I mean, they've always sold phones and they've always sold laptops, and of course Dixon's doesn't exist in the high street now. Curry's and PC World and Dixon's were all part of Dixon Stores Group, which was the main company, but they closed down all the Dixon's stores in the high streets. When I was working there, they got rid of them all. Of course, everything's changed now. There's far more. I mean, there was internet, there was online shopping even when I worked here, but it was nowhere near the same volume as there is now, and certainly not as there has been in the last year or so. The volume of online shopping's been huge with the pandemic going on. And of course, all of these stores had to shut down anyway during the pandemic. Oh, I can believe that. Well, the one in my town, Carphone Warehouse, is already in the curries in my town. Plus, I seen an advert on Indeed. You know, the Indeed website. I get emails through from them, and there was a job going for somebody to sell phones in the local my local curries, the one I used to work in. They're looking for somebody to work in the Carphone Warehouse section in the store. But I mean, since I left that store, I've never been back in it. I've never been back in it to see any of the people I used to work with. And I know that as far as I know, there's one of my former colleagues is still there. I don't know about the rest of them. I've never set foot in it since I left it. That's the thing I've never been in the habit of doing anyway. I mean, is still hanging around places I used to work in. So, you know, once I'm out the door, that's it. I'm gone. I've never set foot in the place since. Anyway, it's 3-1 to Larry. Big mountain. Well, not a big mountain. It's only a race to 4, but it's all or nothing for Bedhead. That's a good shot. That's an excellent shot by Larry. I mean, you either get those spot on or you don't get them at all. But he got the bend right. And the other thing to play that shot is you have to play it at the right pace. If you overhit it in pace, you won't get the bend to work. The cue ball doesn't have time to actually work. So you have to play at a softish pace to allow the spin to take place. So you got it all right. The other thing as well is when I used to work in Curry's in my hometown, we had the local, you know, we had the independent electrical company that was in our town for years and years and years. They finally went out of business. They're gone. There was various other retailers around at the time. Names whom were, you know, they were on the high street all around the country, not just in Scotland, not just in my town, but I mean these were major electrical retailers. They've all gone out of business, and the only ones that still survive up here are the Curry stores and the PC World stores. All the other companies are all gone. There's no electrical retailer selling, you know, wash machines, TVs, computers, or anything like that in my town. It's just Curry's. But as I say, their biggest rival is online sales. Well, Slim, the best I can tell you is, as I said earlier, I decided for Stubb that they were going to play tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it was 7 p.m. No, there's nothing like that in my town. They're not online anyway, Best Buy. I've never heard of them as a retailer in the high street. Maybe that is the case down south and places like that. But yes, the match between Stubb and Cobra should go ahead tomorrow night. I've emailed Steve and I've emailed Cobra and emailed Stubb. I'm still waiting for confirmation from Cobra, but he probably won't be on until tomorrow. And there's the result in the one-loss side. Spectre Dawn has beaten Stefan by 4 racks to 2. Yeah, Best Buy I don't think's a retailer over here in the high street. I mean, I could be wrong. They might be down south, but I've never seen them. Anyway, Larry comfortably through on the one-loss side, 4 racks to 1. Now we're quite deep into this tournament now, so Larry's going to move over, going to move through, and I think there's not much else going to happen until we've got a result through from this winner's side. And in the meantime, we've got Sergaresh on the hill by the look of it. Again, Stubbs just won the last rack there to bring it back to 6-5. He's got a ball in the break. He's got half a shot in the 1. But the 5 ball is going nowhere. So we've just joined this match at the right time. Sergaresh, player 2, getting a 5 ball as his extra money ball. Stubb trying to get the breakout and he hasn't got it. But he may well have Sergaresh in trouble here now. Stubb has to get this cue ball tight to the 7, because if he doesn't and he leaves it exposed, you see, that's a great shot. And the reason it is a great shot is because Stubb, if he'd left that there, you know, the kick was on, and he's taken that right out of the equation there. So Sergaresh looking to find a line, he's nowhere near it. And that again, that's where you have to think in your feet. If you're going to play the safety there like Stubb did, you had to get that cue ball tight to the 7 and cut out and eliminate the angle for the kick. And he's got his just rewards. Well, Stubbs saying he could refuse to play tomorrow and he already won and he quit. Well, that won't be the case if Steve goes in and changes it and amends it so that Stubb forfeited. Yeah, I mean, you can get next day delivery, no problem, with most of these places. I know that when I ordered a couple of things from Amazon, I wasn't going to be at home, I was going to be at work, but I had them, you know, they did deliveries to local, little local news agents and the little Spar stores. If you know, you'll have heard of Spar, you know, the little corner shops that you have locally. And they would deliver to them and you could go there and just pick them up at your own convenience. And Stubb playing the bank on the 1. We're hill and Stubb gets the 1. He's going to have to drag off this 2 ball though, which he's managed to control well. Let me just tell Stubb. Stubbs trying to hold, he's trying to squeeze everything out of this right up to the last minute. And he doesn't realise that if he doesn't do it, then Steve will amend it and change it. Good evening, Bedhead. Anyway, Stubb on the 9 ball and again, well, that's right, Sergaresh is right. I mean, all this chat and everything that, and I'm playing my part in it as well, getting involved in it. Well, the way he's going to screw it up, because he's already been told he has to get the match played, regardless of what happens in the bracket. Right. let's have a look now and see where we stand. Well, we've got Stubb through for the hot seat match, and he's going to be playing either Bankster or Tommy Yu, and that is a scratch match. Bankster's 2 racks to 1 up. So Stubb now having gone through, Sergaresh moves across the 1 loss side. Spectre Dawn is waiting on the winner of Christian and WizKid, and the one thing that's certain there is that Spectre Dawn's going to be given a handful of money balls to either of these 2 players who get through. But the 2 of them are going to take a while before they get there. It's only 1 rack all, and it's a race to 4. They could be there another 20 minutes yet, these 2 guys. Larry's playing Black Jagged on the 1 loss side. Larry's up 1-0. And Larry is given, I can't see that one, I need to get out of my chair. Larry's given the 5 ball to Black Jagged. So, this is a match that's going on the winner's side between Bankster and Tommy Yu. And we are all square. 2 racks all, and as they get underway in rack number 5, I'm going to take a bathroom break and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I am back. I'm just thinking about it there. The horrible thing about this time of year is that I'm going to my bed while it's still daylight outside, and when I get up in the morning it's daylight. So, well, I suppose it's not horrible from the point of view that I don't have that what sort of deficiency is it you get in the winter months when you go to work in the darkness and you come back in darkness. It's the complete opposite this time of year in this part of the world. You go to bed and it's still daylight, and then you come back and it's you get up in the morning and it's broad daylight. No, not rickets. Is it vitamin D deficiency or something? I can't remember. Can't remember what they call it, but it makes you depressed. Although I don't need that to make me depressed. I'm depressed enough as it is. Anyway, Bankster at the table. Sorry, not Bankster. Tommy Yu at the table. Now, is he going for the pot or is he going for the bank? Now, Miasma says, still never understood what you actually do, Hugh. Right, Miasma, let me make it plain and simple. You know what a big supermarket is. You know, the places that sell everything that you buy for the house, for food and everything, right? So rather than you going there to do your own shopping, you order everything online. And when you order everything online, you then choose your delivery day. When you've done all of that, your order comes through to us in .com in our particular store. There are other retailers do the same thing, but in our store we get the orders coming through, and at 6 o'clock in the morning, every morning, 7 days a week, we have got a team of personal shoppers, of which I am one, who start work. We pick up our trolley, which has 6 separate baskets in it for 6 different customers, and we have a personal scanner that we take with us, and on that scanner is the order for the customers. Now, each basket has a label on it which you stick on every time you do a pick, and you basically go on a shopping trip. You take your scanner, you scan the 6 baskets. When you've scanned the 6 baskets, you then scan the trip start barcode on the wall, and you then exit the rear of the premises onto the shop floor. So you leave the storeroom or where we are, and we enter the shop floor with our scanner, and we look at the location, because the whole of the store is mapped. Every module, every shelf, and every aisle has a number and a location, and it's our job to go to that location and pick up the item from that location, scan it, and then put it into this particular basket that we're told to put it into. When we do that, we then scan the label on the basket to confirm that we've picked the goods, that they're in good condition, etc., etc., and you carry on doing that until you have completed that pick. When you've done that and you go through the door to the rear of the store, you then scan the end trip barcode on the wall, and that is your trip completed. You will then get a readout at your pick rate, what your pick rate level is, because you've got targets to make, and you then go and pick up another trolley with another 6 labels on it, and you carry on doing that until they're all completed throughout the day. So from 6 AM, the pick can go on till afternoon, till 12:30, till 1 o'clock, till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, depending how busy it is. And on average, we do about 500 orders a day in that particular store, bearing in mind that we are the largest store in Scotland. So we're 100,000 square feet in our store, and that only covers a small part of Glasgow. There are other stores round about that do the same thing. Yeah, it's people who, I mean, during the pandemic, as this pandemic has gone on, we have been snowed under by orders for people who don't want to come to the store for health and safety reasons, and so therefore they've been ordering their goods online, and our drivers have been delivering their shopping to their door. So that's basically what I do. That is my job title, personal shopper. And during a shift, I don't know how far we walk, but I know that it's far. I know that we do a fair number of miles each shift. I've never ever measured it, but it's a tiring day. Anybody that says, "Oh, it sounds a fairly easy job," well, it's easy in the sense that, you know, you've got a scanner that tells you where to go, and all you need to do is go to where it should be and find it. The problem is that I'm 56 going on 57. Let's be honest, being Scottish, I've not got the best of diets. There are others in the store older than me who are personal shoppers, and when you finish your shift and you go home, it's not unusual to fall asleep after having got home, because it's really tiring. There's a lot of lifting and carrying, you know, heavy cases of beer, multi-packs of bottles of water, bending down, standing up, bending down and crawling along the floor to get to the bottom of a shelf to find something. You know, there's lots of that going on, and it's wear and tear in the body that does it. But as you get older, your body tells you that you know, you're pushing it, starting so early in the morning and then doing a busy shift. It really does tire you out. Anyway, in all of that, Tommy Hughes found himself 5-2 in the lead at the table and looking to be 6-2 in a minute. There's the result through. Christian has eventually won against WizKid by 4 racks to 1. And so Spectre Dawn is going to be given Christian probably 5 and out, I would imagine. Oh, I mean, I know exactly what I'm doing when I get home. I can tell you that it's the same story every day. When I get home, I'll have a cup of coffee. I might have a light snack or something, because I don't want to ruin my dinner later on. So I'll have something like that, and then I'll sit in front of the TV as I'm drinking my coffee. I might just have a biscuit or something. And within 5 minutes of me finishing the coffee, I am out like a light. For about an hour, I am gone. I can hear the TV in the background, but I don't know what's going on. I'm sort of semi-comatose for about an hour, and once I've had that nap, I feel a lot better. I need to have an afternoon nap. Even on my days off, I have an afternoon nap. It's just a natural thing now. Well, Tommy Yu is on the hill. He's going to have to bail with the jump stick here. And he's got no guarantee he's going to have any shot in this 7, because it's not sitting well at all, this 7 ball. And he may well be locked up in a minute or two here. And well, as long as he keeps running and doesn't scratch, he'll at least be able to see it. And he'll probably fancy cutting this in. It is tight. If he gets it right on the nail, he can drop it in, but it's really tight, and he's decided he doesn't like it, but he hasn't played anywhere near half as good a safety shot as he should have, though. You know, the thing is about us, my work colleagues, I mean, we've got young girls and young boys in here picking, and we're up against them. I mean, we've got people that are 30 years younger than you, you know, more than 30 years younger than you, and they're, you know, they're flying around the store, you know. Oh, there's a result through again as well. Larry's beaten Black Jagged 4 racks to 1. So everything's moving on fairly rapidly tonight. We're still 5 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Well, I've certainly lost weight, but I've not lost it in droves. I haven't weighed myself in years, but I know that I was around. Well, I don't know what that is in US. Anyway, Tommy Hughes finally through 7 racks to 2. I don't know what it is in US, but the last time I weighed myself, I was just over 16 stone, and I'm about 5'10", 5'11", which is probably overweight for my height. I don't know what that is though. But certainly I have, my weight control is certainly better than what it was, plus the fact I don't eat anywhere near as much as probably what I used to do. Because first of all, I don't like to have anything big to eat before I go to my bed now, and I used to do that. I was in the habit of doing that every Friday, but now I'll only have something light, maybe about 5 p.m. at night, and nothing else other than another cup of tea or a cup of coffee late on before I go to bed just about after 9 o'clock. And Friday night 9-ball is the one that takes me right past my deadline. So it does. He's still going on about this bloody screenshot, so he is. Right, what was I going to do? Oh, I was going to look at the bracket. That's what I was going to do. So we've got the hot seat match between Tommy, you and Stubb. On the one loss side now, we've got Larry now about to play Bankster. We've got Spectre Don, of course, up against Christian. And Spectre Don is giving Christian, I think it's 6 and out. And he's already up 1-0. And we will head on into, if I can get that thing to work, we'll head on into the hot seat match between Tommy U and Stubb. And Tommy U's getting a 5-ball. Now that is a good handicap for him, because he can certainly get to the 5-ball. £224 is that? Because we're, what are we, £14 and a stone. I think that's what we are over here. Well, in the UK we don't go with kilograms in terms of your own body weight. Most of us still go by, you know, pounds and stones and stuff like that. But I would say I've no doubt that for my height I am maybe a stone or more heavier than what I should be, but most of that was self-inflicted when I was drinking Guinness. I mean, I haven't had a drink of Guinness for goodness knows how long. I haven't been in a bar for a long while, simply because, you know, I'm driving to work anyway, so there's no way I'm going to be having alcohol. So straight away, Stubb is going to be 1-0 up. The mistake made by Tommy U. Punishment duly administered. And of course, doesn't matter what handicap ball you get, and if you can pop balls, if you don't get a shot at the table, or if you do and you blow it, you're still going to lose the rack. As has just happened there. And Stubb breaking off the 6 and the 8 ball's gone. No shot in the 1, but he's tried to kick the 1, missed it completely. And Tommy U has got ball in hand. And, well, this is not dead simple, because he's immediately the wrong side of the 2. He's got a tight cut in the middle, and he's probably going to end up trying to play this 3-5 combo from a distance. He's got to just drop this in and make sure he gets the cue ball out far enough, though. This is not a gimme. Oh, that's the only thing I drink. The only thing I drink, and as I say, I haven't, well, I don't know what Tommy tried there, but that's certainly not worked out. All he's done is set up a combo for Stubb. The only thing I ever drink is when I was, if I was ever in a bar, I would start off with a couple of vodkas and cokes, or vodka and orange. I wasn't fussy. And then after I had them to warm me up, I'd then move on to the Guinness, and that would be me. That's what it used to be when I used to go to the snooker hall. If I went to the snooker hall on a Saturday, I'd be there all day. This is years ago. In fact, it was years ago when I wasn't even working at the time. I was between jobs, and I used to go on the Saturday morning, and the snooker hall back then had a disco on a Saturday night, which was basically in the bar. You know, a lot of snooker halls in those days made most of their money from the bar rather than actually the snooker. I think the club I was in had about, I think all it had was 3 tables, and the rest of the tables were pool tables. But we used to sit, you know, you'd maybe have a frame of snooker with a couple of the guys, but most of the night you would sit there at the bar, and I'd be drinking Guinness till after midnight till chucking out time, and then I'd walk home. But that was the days when you walked home, and you shouldn't even have walked home then, but I would walk home because it was well past. There was no buses at that time. I didn't have a car at the time, and that's obviously why I was drinking at the time as well, because I didn't have my own transport. But those days are gone. That was 30 years ago, and it's long since I've done any of that. In fact, the other thing is, I wouldn't pay the prices they want in a pub now for a pint of beer. I think it's absolute extortion, the cost that they want. I mean, in the UK is not the most expensive. There are plenty of other countries in Europe where you can pay an arm and a leg for a litre of lager or whatever it is they drink. Over in Norway and Sweden and places like that, I would never ever dream of paying that amount of money for alcohol. Which is another reason why I probably don't drink anymore. It's far too expensive. That and smoking is just not a good mixture. I used to have, I would have a can of draft Guinness. The best thing to send you to sleep at night, and I'll swear by this to anybody, is just about this time of night, get yourself a can of draft Guinness, nice and chilled, and sit in front of the TV, drink that down, and then go to bed, and you'll be out like a light. Spectre Dawn, well, it's another one of these wins by forfeit rubbish. I don't know whether Christian's done a runner or whether the actual match took place at all. Oh, well, there's the old fluke in the 9 there by Stubb. He doesn't get any luck at all, that boy, and he's 3-0 up. Unbelievable. Well, we're getting this all recorded, so he does not half get lucky, this boy. So Spectre Dawn marches on one way or another. Let's see what's happening. So he's now through to play Sergaresh. Meanwhile, Larry's all square against Bankster. I'll tell you, I've said this before as well, the worst hangover I've ever had was drinking that hooch when it first came onto the market. You know, these Alcopop things. And we had gone out, this is when I worked in Curry's. We had gone out on a Christmas night out, it was all booked, and we had the nice meal. And then, of course, you know, during our meal we got the drinks in. And we started off in vodka, which was fine, because I know where I stand when I'm drinking vodka. And then, you know, this hooch was on the market, it was just new, and there was lemonade flavoured hooch, and I thought, right, give us some of that. So we'd bought a couple of bottles of that, well, more than a couple of bottles. And of course, when you taste it, it just tastes like lemonade. But of course, it's full of alcohol. And we were knocking these back like they were lemonade. And, you know, the night came to an end. You go home, you get to bed, and I got up in the morning. I had the worst hangover I have ever had. I was like death warmed up. And I went to work the next day, and I vowed there and then that never again would I ever be going on a Christmas night out and coming to my work the next day. And since that time, I've never touched that hooch again. Oh, unbelievable. Just like drinking a nice bottle of lemonade. And that really killed me. I was dead on my feet. Worst hangover ever. Never get anything like that with Guinness. So again, you stick to what you know. You know, once you find a drink you like, you know, don't ever go down any routes and, you know, trying anything else fancy. Stick to what you know. I can stick with vodka and orange, vodka and Coke and Guinness, and that does me. But as to when that's ever going to happen again, I doubt it very much. Well, Stubb 4-0 up. And Tommy Yu, is he going to get any sort of chance to get near this 5 ball as his money ball? Doesn't look like it. Well, they've got all of these. I can see all of these drinks when I'm picking anyway. When I'm doing when I'm doing my job, I can see all these other fancy drinks. You've got all these different flavoured gins that are available now. You know, raspberry flavour and all sorts of different types of vodka. That Absolute vodka, they do all sorts of different flavours in it. You've got, you know, it used to be back in the day. It used to be simple enough. You get vodka, you get whiskey, and you get bottles of wine, and that was it. And various different lagers. Now our store's got all sorts of lagers in it. You get Japanese lager, we've got Indian lager. You know, we've got all, you know, every mixture of German beers. We've got all of those. We've got more than one type of Japanese lagers. We've got 2 or 3 of them. A few Spanish ones, a few Italian ones. We've got all sorts of different beers, as well as the usual, the Budweiser stuff and all the other stuff. You know, Tennants and everything. Yeah, it's all went downhill right from the start. Is he going to play the big draw off the 6? And the little stun into the side rail, push on to the 7. That's worked out pretty well. Well, that's what I said earlier. I said it doesn't matter, you know, if you can pot a ball and you're still getting a handicap. If you don't get a chance at the table, you're never going to get to see that money ball anyway. So, you know, Stubb can't. As long as somebody like Stubb, who's given that handicap away to, you know, to a half decent player, then it still means that Stubb can't afford to make mistakes, because, you know, he knows that most of the time a player like Tommy's going to pot a ball. So the handicap means absolutely nothing as long as Stubb does what he's supposed to do, which is get a chance, pot a ball and run the table. That's what he should be doing every time. He's at that level where that's what you expect of him. So in the end, the handicap doesn't really mean a lot. But now, Tommy's going to have his chance. And he should be out. Well, this is the one that's going to cause the problem. The 3 ball. Is it going to be the bank? Or is he going to try and get lucky here? Oh, well, he's been a wee bit tentative there. He's hung the 2. Well, Stubbs going to have the same problem. And he should probably do the same thing. He should just leave the bank. Again, Stubb trying to be creative. And he can't see enough of the 3, so just give it the old blast. And is the 3 going to keep spinning? Well, it's going to have to be the jump escape here for Tommy Yu. Now, how's the luck? He needs to chip that. And that'll do, because he can squeeze round behind the 5. A wee bit of help and spin he needs here, just to get the cue ball around the corner and out into the table. And so Tommy Yu, unless he hooks himself behind the 6, no, he's okay. He'll be off the mark. And another result, Larry marches on as well. He's beaten Bankster by 4 racks to 2. And Larry now waits on the winner of Spectre Dawn and Sergeresh. Spectre Dawn 2-1 up. And Tommy Yu has got, well, 3 balls in the break. The 4 balls gone, the 6 and the 8 have gone, and he's on the 1. And as long as he can get up the table onto that 2 and back down for the 3 and back up for the 5, it's going to be 5-2. Now, he's not going to do the obvious here and hook himself behind the 7. He's well away from that. Well, Tommy Yu's break started to work. Now, the only problem there though, I think he's had another 3 balls in the break. The 2, the 4 and the 7 have gone. But he's not got anything good in this 1 ball. He's going to have a blast at the 1-5 combo, I think. Might as well give it a dig. Not quite last chance saloon, but it's going to be very difficult to keep this safe. Well, he's trying to squeeze it past. That's a cracking shot because there was not much room to get past that 5. But it's another toughie on this 3 ball. But just the 3, and as long as he avoids scratching, got to hit this to get it to the pocket. If he avoids scratching, he'll be back to within 2. Not going to get there. Yes, it has. Well, all of a sudden, Tommy Hughes got himself into the game here. His last 2 breaks, he's had 3 balls in the break and he's ran out. So, trailing by 2 with the break. And this time, I've put the jinx on him. He's come up dry. And I think Stubb can get to the 1. And, well, again, this is a perfect example of where Stubb should be out. Everything's on, everything's got a pocket. And it's just about manoeuvring the cue ball. Now, is that a result? I've missed it. Has that just come through just now there? What time is it? I think it's just come through, that result there from Spectre Dawn and Sergaresh. Spectre Dawn carries on again. 4 racks to 1. You see, Stubb didn't want to let the cue ball run to, you know, to play it firm, to start running into these balls. So he left himself further away from the 4, but at least made sure he was going to have a shot on it. Good evening to Mal. Now, the latest I can tell you, Mal, is that the match, the Virtual 9 Ball World Final, has completed as far as the deadline time has gone. Right now, pending on what Cobra says, the match should go ahead tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. I say should because Stubb wouldn't come to a decision, so I made it for him. Steve told him they had to get the match played tomorrow night or Sunday night. I have messaged Cobra to tell him that I made the decision for Stubb to be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock British Summer Time, and as long as Cobra gets that message and everything is okay, as far as I know it should be okay for Cobra, then the match should go ahead tomorrow night, but that's still up in the air yet. That will be a race to 25 if it does go ahead. But Stubbs just been his usual self, he's just been messing about. He couldn't just say, yes, we'll play it tomorrow night. He wouldn't utter those words, so the decision's been made for him. It's all just basically whether anything crops up between now and tomorrow night for Cobra. So, in the meantime, Tommy Hughes back to within 1. Stubb trying to kick out at the 2. Where's the cue ball going? Well, Tommy Hughes, remember he only needs the 5 ball. So, he's got a chance to square the match here, and he was 4-0 down. And that's where the money ball handicapping comes into play. When you start getting the break working, and you've got a shot to go at. Well, that was always going to have to be the case because the 2 of them are working and they couldn't find the time that was going to be suitable. And so Steve himself suggested that they let the tournament time out tonight and arrange to play it over the weekend. And Stubb just would not commit himself and say it. And Cobra was getting fed up with it. And Cobra, in a PM, when they were discussing it between themselves, Cobra said, well, if you want to win it that desperately, then take it. And of course, Stubbs now get the screenshot of that and saying that Stobra's quit. Whereas, me and Steve are saying, no, he hasn't quit. And the match should be going ahead. There's no point in playing a tournament right up to this stage with all the 64 people that were in it for it to end up in this kind of debacle at the end of it. So the safest way to do it is the match gets played and the tournament gets updated now that the tournament's now finished. Oh, I'm definitely hoping to stream it, yeah. So like I say, Stubbs made the decision whether he likes it or not that it's going to be tomorrow. It's just all down to Cobra showing up tomorrow or sending me a reply in an email that he's got my message and that everything's okay and we should have the match. Tonight was never going to be good for Steve. Steve wanted to do the final, but Steve couldn't be here at the time the final might have went ahead anyway. Had the two of them been able to play it, Friday was never going to be good for Steve. Now, meanwhile, we are all square. Tommy Yu is on the 4. Now, can he get cute here on this 5? He's got to be really careful. He's got to just drop that 4 in and just stop that cue ball right on the spot there. And he can get this 5 into the middle. I think he's done it. Yeah, he's perfect. Well, there you go. I mean, there's Tommy was in the chat 10 minutes ago, talking about things not going for him. And he was 4-0 down at the time, and now he's going to be on the hill. That's the difference that the 5-ball money ball does for you when you start to get pot and balls. So, Tommy Yu, 6-5 up, looking for a ball, but again he's not getting it. Not this time, and he may well be in trouble in a second or two. Although Stubb is lining up the cut, I think. He's gone all out for the win here, Stubb. And this is not easy to get to this 3-ball. There's an awful lot of cover around this 3-ball. And he's trying to find a gap between the 8 and the 7, and that's pretty well done, but he's still not anywhere near home and dry here. He's got to find a way out of there to get up table so he can play this 4-6 combo. And there's no guarantee that's going to happen. Well, he's managed to miss the 8, which he had to do, and he's got a shot. Now, where's the 4-ball going to end up, though? This could end up dead in the top rail. And see, he's tried to nurse it in, and he hasn't actually got the 6 to the hole. And this match is over. Tommy Yu nicely on the 5. And from 4-0 down, he's won it by 7 racks to 5. And so Stubb moves over to the 1-loss side. That's how quickly a match can turn once everything starts working for you. And all of a sudden, from it looking grim and dead and buried, the match turned completely on its head. And Tommy Yu goes through by 7 racks to 5. Now, Stubb is now waiting on the winner of the Larry Spector Don match. And of course, Tommy U is through to the hot seat. Was it 5-0 down? I knew it was 4-0 down. I think I was busy talking at the time anyway. Well, it just shows you, doesn't it? Meanwhile, Spectre Dawn is looking at making short work of Larry here in this one lost side. He's going to be 3-0 up. Now Spectre Dawn looks as if he's dry. Larry's got... Well, he's not got a great shot in the one. He's got to avoid running into balls which he couldn't really avoid, and now he's going to have to try and keep this safe or manufacture something. I think he's hit that too hard. Okay, he's not left anything on, but he shouldn't really have been leaving that 2-ball exposed. It's still out in the open. Now Spectre Dawn looking to get cover. Now, I think that is enough. Larry can see the edge of the two, but he can't do much with it, I don't think. What's happened here? He's not hit a rail. Ah, that's what's happened. Just realised that. So Larry's got ball in hand. Well, he can certainly do something now, and he's going to have to at 3-0 down. Last chance saloon for Larry. Of course, this is a scratch match as well, so no handicap for either player. And this is not quite cut and dried here for Larry. He's got to get good on this 6-ball. Well, he wanted to be a bit more good than that, because he's got to come into this gap here, and he may well have to go 2 rails to get there. No, he's trying to chip it down the right side. That's why he's missed the 6. And he never really got there. And Spectre Dawn's got the same problem. The problem is, the natural line, the cue ball's going to come down this side of the 7. So unless he starts doing something with the cue ball to get into this gap, he's going to have to play a combo if he can get there. Yeah, he was trying to find a way into the middle there. That's what he was trying to do. He's trying to find a way to get into here to play this 7. And now Larry's going to get another go, and this is the best chance he's got. He needs to get a nice kiss in the 7. He ain't getting it, I don't think. No. No luck. I don't know whether Mal's still there. Mal's maybe been and gone. Well, that was a good shot in that 7 into the middle. Can he get enough of this 8-ball? Yes, he can, and a 9. That'll do it. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So Larry off the mark. Where's that 4-ball going? It's not going in. And it looks dry as well. I don't think anything's gone. Spectre Dawn can pot the 1. Well, he's not interested. Simple reason is it wasn't easy to get good on the 2 anywhere. So he's played the safety. It's the right thing to do. Well, an easy little dink on this 1 ball just to sneak in towards the 3. Not a difficult kick though. In fact, Larry can actually see the edge of the 1. I don't know whether that's any good to him though. Well, that'll do. That's a nice kiss in the 6. Oh well, Mal is still there. Now, how Spectre Dawn's luck this time? Well, there, it's worked very nicely. Larry's hooked in the 1. Again, he can see an edge of the 1. Oh, that's a good outcome as well. So, getting a good little run of the ball here. Spectre Dawn with the kick. Now, he hasn't got it safe, but again, it's not. Let's have a look at this 2. Yeah, you see that 2-5. The 5's lined up to go to the rail. And Larry may well have been trying to get into that 2-5 there just to nudge something. Yeah, it's definitely not set as a combo. But again, Larry's just... Well, he's just sneaked out. I don't know whether that's enough to encourage Spectre Dawn to have a real blast at this to try and cut it. With 3 balls out in the open, he might just be looking... Well, he has gone all out for it. And he's got a shot in the 3. And again, that's why you have to get things tight for these guys, or they're going to go for them. So that ended up being a poor safety for Larry. And Spectre Dawn has his chance to seal the deal. Do I have a Discord for this channel? Well, there's a Virtual Pool 4 Discord, and there's also I've got my my commentary booth, which is limited to just 2 people anyway. But there is the Virtual Pool 4 Discord channel, which basically 2 people use, as far as I know. There's very little activity on the Virtual Pool 4 Discord. In fact, there's very little activity in the Shooters Pool Discord as well, even though I've been on it. There's very little activity on it. I never see very many. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen anybody on it when I went into it and had a look. There's been nobody in there chatting. Anyway, Spectre Dawn has sealed the deal, and Larry's participation in the tournament is over. And Spectre Dawn, as I said earlier on, having gone through after that first round match, I said he would battle on and battle on and battle on in the 1 loss side, and he's now going to have his chance at revenge on Stubb, because Stubb sent Spectre Dawn to the 1 loss side a long while ago. In the first match, in the first round tonight, Stubb beat him by, what the hell did he beat him by? 7 racks to 2 in that first match. So now both of them are in the semi-final to see who meets Tommy Yu in the final. And remember, it's only a race to 4. And of course, this time, Spectre Dawn is still getting the 8 ball. Oh, the brain's beginning to shut down now. The yawning started big time. What time is it? 25 minutes to 10. You see what happens when you try and pinch a bit with these pockets. Stop trying to spin the cue ball around the table to get out for the 2. He's run into the 3, and I think he's actually covered that 1 ball. So not a difficult kick. But the problem with that is he's actually hit it too good and followed the 1 in. And Stubbs now got ball in hand. And just in the space of 1 shot. Of course, the difficulty as well was playing the cue ball into this corner. You had those balls blocking the path up the table to the 2 anyway. So it was always going to be difficult to have a chance to run out. But Stubb with ball in hand, well, he's a wee bit straight in this 4. He's just going to have to punch this cue ball. Question is how far does he want to punch this cue ball to still have a shot in the 5? Yeah, he's deciding to leave it long, and this is no gimme, this 5 ball. He's left it tough. Played it well. Should be 1-0 up. Nice angle in the 6. Now, he's got to stun down past that 8 ball, I think. Yeah, stun down past it. Get high enough up to have a reasonable shot at it. So, Stubb off and running, ball in the break, and a shot on the 1, but there is a lifeline at the moment for Spectre Dawn. That 4 ball is closely guarded by the 9, so if he's going to do anything here, he's going to have to move something to continue this run. He might try something crazy like that right now. That's what he's tried. He's tried to ride his luck, get a hit on the 9 or the 4 and still have a shot in the 3. Now, is he going to try and... I don't know whether there's enough room there to pinch anything at all. I don't think he can really on this 3 ball. Yeah, he has tried it. Well, he's got the 9 out of the way, and he's got a shot in the 4. That was a good shot. I didn't think there was enough room there to work to get that, but in the end he didn't want to risk that cut because he was too close. But if you can't get the cut, if you don't want to risk it, at least play a half decent safety, which he has done. Now, how Spectred Onslaught, it is not bad. And Stubb going to try and avoid this 8 ball to come down this bottom end here, I think. I don't know whether he can get it thin enough and avoid it. Yes, he has done. And again, that is not a bad safety. It's good distance. It's not got cover, but Spectre Dawn's not got an easy safety. Got to get the pace right. And you see what's happened. You know, he's just squirted out and he's given Stubb a sight in the 4, and that's the difference. You know, when you've got things at distance, it's still a lot more difficult to find the right connection to that object ball and also the right pace to control that cue ball, and that's what gave Stubb that opportunity there. Well, the big stun, he almost overdone it. Well, Stubb is going to be 2-0 up and looking to head to a rematch with Tommy Yu. Tommy Yu having put Stubb into that one-loss side. As Tommy said, coming from 5-0 down to win 7-5. Again, the ball in the break and a shot. 5-ball is just slightly hampered, but he's plenty of room to get into the gap. Although he's not in a great angle in the 4. But loads of room to get in there. Anywhere in that area gets a shot in the 5, which he has done. And again, it's just like the first match, because again, Stubb, had this gone the other way, where Spectadon was getting the use of the 8-ball, he'd be moaning and moaning and moaning about the fact that he's having to give the 8-ball, but the handicap that he's given means absolutely nothing. Even though Spectadon's a 2,300 player and he's 2,400, it means absolutely nothing as long as Stubb does what's expected of him, and that's to break, pot a ball and run the table. And as long as he keeps doing that, the handicap is totally irrelevant. And again, Stubb has broke, and this time he's got the 4, the 6 and the 8, and he's won the match. Nothing that Spectadon can do whatsoever, as long as Stubb keeps doing what he has to do. And it makes a mockery of the argument about having I mean, there is a point about it's unfair giving a handicap, especially for players that are both over 2,200, but when you're at that level, you're expected to be breaking and running tables, or from a dry break running a table against your opponent. Either way, you can't be missing, and if it's when you miss and the other guy gets the use of that handicap, that's the annoying part for him. And in the end, it's been a comprehensive win for Stubb. Spectadon never get a sniff. 4 racks to 0. So it's now just gone 20 minutes to 10, and we have a final. And this week's final is going to be between Tommy Yu from Germany and Stubb Race to 9. And the room is up. I'll head in. Stubb is already in, and here we go for the lag. And once again, of course, this is the rematch, and Tommy is of course still getting a 5-ball, and he made great use of that in the second half of his first match against Stubb. Is he going to be able to do the same thing this time? Well, he won't if Stubb continues on the run that he's on from that match with Spectadon. If he keeps getting a ball and a shot and running, then the same thing will happen. But likewise for Tommy Yu, if he can make the most of this 5-ball, which he's got every chance of doing here, the only one thing he's got to be sure of is he gets nice on this 4, where he's got an angle to get out into the table, because he doesn't want to happen to be trying to play this 5 anywhere near this 8. That's not a place to be. See, he's gone absolutely where he shouldn't be. He's pretty straight on this. He's slightly inside it, nearer the rail than the 4, but it doesn't give him an awful lot of leeway in what he can do with the cue ball to get anywhere good on this 5. And if he starts pinching a bit here, He could go pear-shaped very quickly. See, he's got neither here nor there. Now this will cut in the middle, no doubt about it. It's thinner than you think. You see, it is thinner than you think. And he's left it hanging, and Tommy's chance is gone. Now what's Stubb done here? I think he's ended up where he doesn't want to be. The only place in the table that you can't pot the 9. And that is a really terrible shot. That's the worst shot of the night played right there. And it was Stubb that played it. I'm glad I got that in tape. I mean, you've got a huge expanse. You've got a wasteland of table, and Stubb puts the cue ball in the only worst spot in the table you could find. Right behind the 9. And from having a gift of a run out, he's blown it by getting loose and careless and sloppy. That's the name of the solicitors. Loose, careless and sloppy. And taking things for granted. And he gets suckered there big time, Stubb. Oh, and he's hung the 2 as well. Well, this is all falling into place here for Tommy Yu. He needs to keep going. He's going to have to work the cue ball and get a hold of it. And he doesn't want to finish anywhere near the 5 or the 9. Has he gone far enough? Yes, he has. Just, I think. Now, he needs to get high enough up here in this 5. Doesn't want to be leaving himself square again. Overhit it, if anything. Now, plenty of room. And there's a big gap to get on this 6. Got to be brave enough to get there, though. Mind you, what am I talking about? He only needs a 5 ball. I've forgotten again, guys. I've forgotten. Forgotten again. So 2-0 to Tommy Yu. And this time he's definitely come up dry. But he's also got away with it as well. Nothing on for Stubb. And Stubb is taking risks. He's going all out for the bank. And he has got away with that one. See, that's a big risk, especially with these balls lying fairly well open. If Tommy gets a sniff here, he'll be able to run to that 5 ball, no problem. In fact, that 1, is it going to get there? Is it going to have the legs? Yes, it does. That's a good shot. The gap was there. Just managed to squeeze it through. Well, there's no problem in any of the balls that he needs. 3 ball wide open, 4 ball wide open, and 5 ball right in the middle of the table for 3-0. Oh no, he doesn't want to do this though. Oh, he is dicing. Dicing with trouble there. Now, did you want to come right around into the table for the 5 into this opposite corner pocket? Because that looks like the track the cue ball wants to go. Let it run around the angles, come out into the middle of the table, up past the 8 ball, top side. for the 5 into the same pocket. Needs to keep running though. Needs to keep going. Just to give him a better line on that 5 ball. But that was the way the cue ball wanted to go. So this for 3-0. And then again, this has also come about from Stubb taking a blast at a 1 ball, trying to make a bank that was never on. And, you know, he's fallen into his own trap here, Stubb. Should have looked for the safety, went for the blast on the 1, and lost the rack because of it. But this time, Tommy Hughes definitely come up dry. And this time Stubb has a wide open table which he has to run. No ifs or buts. Trailing 3-0, and he's missed a 1 ball into the middle. Well, I think Stubbs blown a gasket here tonight. I think he's wasted that much time pissing about, going on about this match with Cobra, that he's taken his eye right off the ball. He's actually exhausted himself messing about in the chat, in the lobby, and all sorts of carry on all night. And he's missed a sitter of a 1 ball. And meanwhile, Tommy Hughes finding all the awkward places to put the cue ball for this too. I mean, this will drop into the middle, but it's tight. How's his luck? Well, it's not bad, is it? Again, Stubb having a blast. Well, this will cut. Now, Tommy Hughes going to just have to get lucky here, because he could hit this clean and avoid traffic, or run straight into traffic. It looks more likely he's going to hit something. But is he going to have a shot in the 3? No, in fact, he's not going to have a shot in the 3 because he's missed the 2. And the 3's gone into a little awkward area between the 7 and the 8. And again, Stubb hoping to get lucky and have a shot. But he can't pot the 3, but he can certainly... Can he punch this around the table and avoid the 4? No, he can't. But at least he's got cover. Tommy Hughes went for the jump, and he's got it safe, and that is a good result for him, because that stacks the pressure on Stubb. Stubb's usually good at kicking though. Got the hit. How's his luck? Again, not a bad result. In fact, pretty good, to be honest with you. I mean, there's not a lot on here for Tommy. He could try a reverse bank, but this 3 ball's right on the rail. It's not good for a bank. No, I'm certainly heading straight out the door and straight into bed after this. No, I've no time for any coffee. My head will just hit the pillow. Well, Tommy's... I don't know whether he could... I don't think he could properly see enough of that 3 ball. But it's given Stubb a chance. But he's going to have to run this out by playing a 7-8 combo here, I think. Unless he can get that 6 ball up the top end of the table. He might be looking to play this 6 in there and run the cue ball over here for the 7 down into this pocket. Well, I don't know whether he's... well, he certainly can get over there. How's the pace? Well, that's exactly where he's gotten. Right on the nail. Yeah, I would just like to point out to you guys that last Friday I was really tired and decided I wouldn't do the Friday night 9-ball. Not to say I'm not really tired right now, because I am, but I was really tired before the tournament was about to start, so I gave it a miss. And we didn't have a full house last week, but I'm back this week and we had a full house, so explain that one. And for weeks before it, we've had full houses for Friday night 9-ball, which has never happened before. I mean, it's went for long periods of time where it was never getting a full house, but I think this pandemic thing has certainly helped it as far as that goes. Although things are beginning to loosen up a wee bit now, although that's not to say that things won't get worse again. But anyway, Stubb is off the mark, trailing by 3 racks to 1. Tommy, you with a thin cut in the 1. Good cut. He's got a shot in the 2. And as long as he gets this 2 under good control, of the cue ball anyway, he should be out on that 3. And with a 5 ball pretty much over the corner pocket next to the 6, he should be 4-1 up. It all hinges in this 2 ball. And he's played it well. Well played and well controlled. And it will be 4-1. Well, I put loads of inside English on it to make sure he was going nowhere near over that right side to get involved with the 7. But he's left himself a little tiddly thin cut in the 5. And it goes. It's 4-1. And that rack is tilted slightly left. 1 ball's further to the left and the 2 at the back of the pack. The balls are brought well, but the cue ball's scratched. That's the worst possible outcome. And the break was dry also. So ball in hand for Stubb, and again he has to do what's expected of him with ball in hand, and that's run out. Now, this 2 ball, he's actually dead straight in the 2, and he's had to stun it to leave a cut in the 3. And the other problem is he may well run into this 6, so he's got himself in trouble immediately here. And disaster has happened. Commentator's eye has called it. He's run into the 6, hooked himself behind the 7, had a blast at the 4, and wouldn't you know it, he's got lucky again. Oh, I've got all the video evidence here tonight for the amount of luck that Stubb gets. Another kick safe. How's Tommy's luck? Well, the line looks good. And that 4 will go. It's not easy, but it will go. But he's just caught the knuckle. And he may well have got away with that as well, I think. I don't think Tommy... Can he get enough of that? I'm not convinced. It's right on the point. And Tommy doesn't think so either, so he's just pushing to it. Well, now Tommy can try and get distance here. He can try and bank that 4 back along the short rail and skim down the table. Oh, that's going to have to get there though, to still have cover in the 4. How's that looking? Well, that's not a great shot, to be honest with you, is it? That was not a good shot, Tommy. And it's given Stubb Another goal. Well, I said Stubb played the worst shot of the night earlier on, but there's another one. I mean, that is really, really poor to end up there on the 7th and having to play the cutback. And now he's completely out of shape on this 8 ball. He's got to be careful with this. He's avoided the scratch and he's landed plumb on that 9 to get back to within 2, but it was from the mistake by Tommy. He didn't get cover and he let Stubb in, and Stubb has run out. And likewise, Stubb's come up dry and Tommy has a shot in the 1. Now he's going to have to dig into this just to make sure he stuns across the 7, sorry, not the 7, the 8 and the 4, and leaves himself on the 2. I don't know whether he wants to let this run. He's got to really stun this in and do that. And of course the other problem now is, if he's going to be brave enough, is to stun the 2 in so that the cue ball goes that way and comes down here somewhere to get a shot in the 3. Missed the 5. Well, he's hit the 5. The line was pretty good. But there's always some sort of traffic in the way when you're running around the angles. Now, is it all out for the thin cut? Well, he's did everything but pot it. He's run into the 5 though. What a result for Tommy Yu, just when he needed it. Now again, Stubb looking for the line to find the gap between the 4 and the 8, and he's usually pretty good at finding it. There you go. He's probably one of the best kickers in VP4 because of that. You know, with the ball hanging over the pocket, all he had to do was pick the line, and he's got his chance to get back to within 1. Again, as he got there, this is really, really tight. Is he playing the bank? I think he's playing the bank. Yeah. But once again, he's nowhere in the 7. Because of that, you know, the cue ball's running, you've got no real great control of what you're doing when you're focused totally in the bank. And that looks good though. He's picked a line in the reverse bank excellently. And he's going to be out. But he's doing it the hard way though. But he will be back within 1. And a ball in the break. Cue ball though. Cue ball gets kicked in by the 7. And now here's the perfect opportunity with ball in hand for Tommy Yu, just to rescue the situation here. Just to keep that gap going, because he's not going to be anything better than ball in hand to do it. He just needs the 1, the 2, the 4, all in wide open spaces, and he should be 5-3 up within a minute. Right, miasma, good night. Take care. If you're online tomorrow when I'm not on, try and get a hold of Cobra just to make sure he checked his messages and that he's happy with tomorrow night, because I don't know that yet. I haven't been able to check in fact, I've got my phone here, I can check my emails and see if I've got anything, but I don't think I have. I'll have a quick look. Let me have a check. That's the only thing that we need to find out, that Cobra's fine with tomorrow. As far as I know, he should be, but you know, you never know. Things can change. I don't think I've got anything, to be honest with you. No, I don't see anything there. But I'll be finished. I'll be here about 1 PM tomorrow, British Summer Time, to see if he's online. I don't think I've got anything come through. He may well have been out in the town tonight or something like that. Let's have a quick look. Let's have a check. No, I've got nothing through. So he may well not have looked at his emails. So we'll see what happens anyway. So back to the final. Race to 9. Tommy Yu getting the 5 ball as his extra money ball with a 5-3 lead. Stubb, however, again chasing Tommy Yu down. Great chance to narrow it again. Now that's the shot that's always dangerous, because that was heading into the pocket. If you get it too heavy, it's always going to scratch like that. But if you get it reasonably good like that, you'll have a half decent shot in the pot. But again, he's left himself deep in bedhead territory here for the big cut in the 5. Goes in off the far jaw. But, well, he should be back within touching distance. Oh yeah, I am straight out the door. I am going after this, guys. Serious need a bedtime. I'll have a quick drink. So, 5-4 to Tommy Yu. Stubb with the break. Ball in the break. Think, what went? 2 ball was it? 2 ball has gone. Well, with this shot he can take a risk, and if he can try and chip the 6, which he has done, because he was always going to have a shot in the 3, that was a wise thing to do, just to get the 6 into play. It was going nowhere behind the 9. Now the problem is you're going to have to spin and get lucky that he's spinning up the table with a kick on those 2 balls to have a shot in the 5. But he hasn't. Now, is he going to kick again, or is he going to try the jump stick? He's got enough room to get there. And of course, this is Tommy Yu's extra money ball. Well, he is going to go for it. And it has to go in. I don't think he really fancies using these jump cues, to be honest with you. I think he'd much rather kick it, but it's, you know, because he doesn't get an awful lot of practice with jump cues, believe it or not. You see, that's the thing. He does prefer to kick. If there's a line there to get to that ball, he'll kick it much rather than jump. But he might have almost got away with it. It's thin. Very thin. But in it goes. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if Stubbs got a weakness, it's probably jump shots, but it's not from the fact that it's simple lack of practice. Oh, Tommy Hughes done it again. He wins the rack, scratched in the break. Give Stubb ball in hand. Yeah, as I say, Stubb, when there's an open table and a line and an angle to get to a ball, he would much rather kick it than he would to use the jump stick. And that's not a bad thing though. It's just the fact that from erratic use of the jump stick, his jumps are not necessarily the best. There are better jumpers out there than him. But he is in the same situation again, trying to get back to within one. Now he needs a half decent angle in this 6 ball once he pots the 5, because the 7 ball's right down here in this bottom rail. So, you know, he's going to have to move this cue ball here. You know, no half measures in this. He's going to have to go right through with the shot to get anywhere into the table for a shot in the 7. Well, that isn't it, because this is tight. It's not frozen, it's off the rail, but it is not easy from that distance. Yep, and he's only chipped an edge. And the only thing is that Tommy Yu has to pot the 3 balls, which really shouldn't be that difficult. And it should give him a 3-rack lead again. Well, I think he's ended up dead straight in the 8. Now he might want to try and pinch a bit in this 8 ball, which he can do. You see, he's tried to stun it out. He could have actually pinched a bit into that side of the pocket to send the cue ball out. He never so much as looked at it, but he could have done that there. But anyway, he's got the job done. And the lead now goes to 3 again. 7 racks to 4, race to 9. And how's Tommy Hughes locking the break? Well, the 5 ball has gone in the break. That will come back up, because that's Tommy Hughes' money ball. But he remains at the table, and the balls are wide open. And, well, it's a little bit fiddly on this 2 ball, but he should be fine. He's got loads of room past the 7 ball. He just needs to stun across the table and draw off that side rail. He needs to watch the middle pocket though, if he gets into this too much. And he's avoided that. How's the cue ball though? He hasn't avoided the hook. Well, he's going to have to pick the line to get the chip on the 3 to knock it in. He's played it well, and the pace is good to give him a shot in the 4. The problem now is he's going to have to come down this side for the 5. And he needs to watch the pace. Again, he's not quite there for comfort's sake on this 5 ball, but this to take him to the hill. So 8-4, and Stubbs got the cheek to say amazing luck. Well, that's the punchline of the night, guys, right there. Amazing luck, he says. And you see some of the luck that Stubb has had. And Tommy Yu getting no luck in the break though. He's come up dry. Stubb with no shot, just going for the kick and hope. And, well, there we go. No, there's no luck, Stubb, at the table there. Not a difficult kick, though. It's quite a big target, but Tommy Hughes missed it. So Stubb in last chance saloon with ball in hand. The problem is, though, he can't get to the one to pot it. So he's looking for the 3 fouls. Now again, this is not difficult to hit. Even if you hit the rail behind the one, you've still got a strong chance of kicking it. In fact, can he see it? No, he can see it. What am I talking about? I thought he was hooked behind the 2 there. I never even looked. And Tommy went all out for the he went all out for the 1-5 combo there, and he's got away with it as well. But Stubbs kicked to 1 in, and in the blink of an eye, he's on the 2. Again, it's just the fact he's got stuff to do with the cue ball here. I have to spin around behind the 5 and 9 to get into the open. Played that well. Again, it's just got to be the stunny draw on the 6 ball just to get decent on the 7. Again, played it well. That's a shot that everybody has to practice. That stun draw shot. That is a very, very important shot to have in your arsenal to give you better control when you're playing draw shots that you don't want to get too much juice into. So, Stubb has used up one of his lives. He's back to within 3. With the break though. Seven ball goes in. Oh, it's going to have to be the safety on the 1 ball now. He's got an easy safety to cut that back to the top rail, but he might well go for the bank. So he's gone all out for the bank. And because he's done that, he may well have sold the match right there by doing that. You see, that's where Stubb needs to wind it in. Perfectly good opportunity to play a decent safety there, but he went all out for it. And you can't do that when your opponent's on the hill, because you're only giving him a free go. And if Tommy Hughes can get out into the table and on that 3 ball, now he's got to be careful here. Okay, he can cut the 3. He's running into the 6. He does not want to be scratching off this 6 ball, because he's still got to get to the 4. And he's no real idea of where this cue ball's going, other than it could run in off the 6. Now you see, he's just played it safe. Now it's a straight roll in on the 4, and he has to roll through far enough. Got to be right through far enough to play this 5 up the rail for the match. And he's way offline with the 4. And maybe the pressure's telling a wee bit there. And all that needs to happen now for Stubb is his break starts working, and all of a sudden this match is not over. So Stubb is going to be back to within 2, and Tommy Hughes might not have a better chance than he had there to get that match done and dusted with that straight roll in. So Tommy Hughes Still leads by 8 racks to 6. Still 1 away. But Stubb with the break. And the 8 ball's gone in. 4 balls gone in. And he's going to go for the thin cut and the 1 down this rail. And he's got to find that gap in the middle of the 3 and the 7 to still be able to see the 2. So Stubb went for it in the last rack. Gave Tommy a chance. He's gone for it in this rack, and Tommy's not going to get another look in on this one. This is over and out, this rack. Well, again, having said that, he's left it a little bit testy. He should be fine. But it is a blind pocket shot, this 3 ball, and he's just got it. Slightly hampered by the 6. Shouldn't be a problem though. Well, like I say, as long as Stubb has the open table with a ball in the break and a shot or anything like that, this match could turn on its head as well. From trailing all the way through it, he's going to be back to within 1. So 8-7. And a ball in the break. And the 9 ball has gone. It'll come up. Cue ball's gone though. Well, that's a disaster. Or is it? Because it's 1 ball with ball in hand. The 2 ball is awkward. Oh, he's got to play this 2 ball from in the gap there. Oh, that needs to keep moving. Oh, he's got too much. He's got more than enough angle and he wants to really work with this 2 ball, but he should be on the 3. And remember, he only needs the 2, the 3 and the 5 for the match. Right, so now he's got to stun this in firm and come across the 5, but not too firm that he's going to scratch. I think he's too straight to be doing that though. Well, he got enough in it. So anyway, Tommy Yu is going to win this week's Friday night 9 ball by 9 racks to 7 over Stubb in the final. And remember, he was getting a 5 ball and made the use of it, so he's beaten Stubb twice in this week's tournament. Well, that's it, guys. Quick look at the money. Well, the money's always the same with 16 in it. Tommy Yu gets 785, Stubb gets 390, and the other guys get a fair share up until like 5th and 6th places. They get 145. I'm going to bid you good night. Just remember that this Virtual 9 Ball World Championship final should be on tomorrow night, 7 PM British Summer Time, 2 PM Eastern Standard Time, but that isn't going to be confirmed until tomorrow. So stay in touch, keep an eye out, but if it does go ahead, I will be live for that tomorrow night. So with that, take care, stay safe, good night, and I'm off to bed.